Hi friends, this is chapter 19 of NCERT Reader, Excretory Products and their Elimination. Let's understand what exactly is excretion. Why do animals excrete? Every animal, inside the body of every animal, cells of animal, there are many metabolic reactions happening. Metabolism means sum of chemical reactions in the cells of the animal. These metabolic reactions generate plenty of metabolic waste, such as first one ammonia, another one urea, another one uric acid. Okay, these are some of the metabolic waste, and they all contain nitrogen, so we commonly call them nitrogenous waste. These wastes are called nitrogenous waste because they contain nitrogen. Other than these wastes, you can also find waste such as carbon dioxide. That's one of them. Then we generate water in the respiration. For example, we produce water. It's a waste product. And we also get rid of excess ions, maybe the sodium ions or potassium ions, or the chloride ions, or even phosphate, or even sulfate. Okay, those are non-nitrogenous waste. They don't contain nitrogen, and these metabolic waste are toxic. Right? If they stay in the body, it can cause serious problems in the body. So it should be eliminated. It should be eliminated, and this process of eliminating the metabolic waste is known as excretion. We can also get these waste from ingestion. For example, if you take too much of water, if you drink too much of water, the level of water can increase. If you keep taking salty food, or through the food, these ions can increase in our body. So through ingestion also, these waste products might increase in our body. If they increase, it should be eliminated, and the process of eliminating the waste products is known as excretion. All living things perform excretion. So we have two types of the waste. One is called nitrogenous waste, and the second is a non-nitrogenous, which do not contain nitrogen. What's wrong with the nitrogenous waste? Nitrogenous waste are very toxic, right? Some of them animals can keep in the body, others cannot be kept because they are too toxic, so they should be eliminated quickly. Let's understand, how do we produce these nitrogenous waste? So the common nitrogenous waste are, one is ammonia, second one is urea, another one is uric acid. These are three major nitrogenous waste. How do we produce them, or animals produce them, right? When animals take in protein, animals digest the protein to amino acid. In the digestive system, they are digested, even in human beings, and these amino acids are absorbed and then transported to the liver. What exactly happens in the liver? We use some of the amino acid for the formation of protein. Some amino acids are used up, but if we have excess amino acid, we break it down into ammonia, right, by a process called deamination. Right? We don't store amino acid, we break down that excess amino acid and generate ammonia. So that's one source of ammonia, right? Second source of nitrogenous waste is the nucleic acids. The nucleic acids contain purines. Purines are nitrogenous bases. Okay, these are called nitrogenous bases of the DNA. Right? What are the two purines? Right? The two purines are like adenine and guanine. A and G are the two purines. When purines enters our body along with the food item, these purines are metabolized into ammonia at last. Okay, so that's another source of ammonia, right? So these are the two main sources of nitrogenous waste in human body. The food that we take, it has nucleic acids, it has proteins. They both generate ammonia. Ammonia is a toxic waste. What's wrong with ammonia? Ammonia is very toxic, so we cannot keep ammonia in the body, right? The ammonia is converted to urea, or it is converted to uric acid. So you can find different types of animals on the basis of the type of nitrogenous waste they excrete. If an animal is excreting ammonia, we call the animal a monotelic. A monotelic is an animal which directly excretes ammonia. Then you have ureotelic. This is the animal that directly excrete urea, not ammonia, right? And third group of animal is called uricotelic. Uricotelic animals excrete uric acid, and so they are known as uricotelic, right? The process of excreting ammonia is known as ammonotelism. Okay, that's a process of excreting ammonia, and this is called uricotelism, and this one is called uricotelism, right? So there are three types of animals on the basis of excretory waste product: a monotelic, ureotelic, and uricotelic. We're going to study about these three animals. How do they differ in their method of excretion, right? Let's look at the different types of animals. Let's start with a monotelic, right? These are the animals which excrete ammonia. What's the problem with ammonia? Ammonia is very soluble. It's highly soluble, very soluble in water. Being soluble in water, it's difficult to remove it from the cells, from the cytoplasm, from the blood plasma. That means to remove almost 1 gram of ammonia, these animals will have to use around 500 ml of water, right? So if an animal is excreting ammonia, it should get plenty of water. It should have access to huge amount of water. Then only it can excrete the ammonia. That means this can be done only by aquatic animals, right? Animals living in water have access to plenty of water, so they excrete the ammonia as ammonia without any change. And this is the most toxic nitrogenous waste. The reason, when ammonia dissolves in the water of the cytoplasm, in the blood plasma, it changes the pH and make it more alkaline. Ammonia is alkaline. Alkaline pH denatures the enzyme and kills the organism immediately. And what animals, examples of animals which excrete, for example, fish. In the fish, you can see fish has gills, and through the gills, right, it keeps taking out the water keeps moving out through the gills, right? Along with the water, from the surface of the gills, the ammonia is excreted by the fish, right? And all those animals which lives in water, most of the animals, it's easy to excrete the ammonia just by diffusion, because it's highly soluble in water, right? And remember that kidneys do not help in the excretion of the ammonia. Mostly it happens by diffusion from the body surfaces or the gill surface of the animals, right? During evolution, animals move from water to the land. When they move from water to the land, it was not easy to get so much of water immediately for excretion. They have waterproof skins to reduce the loss of water. So these animals got some new adaptation. They can't afford to excrete ammonia as there is no more water available, right? The second group of animals are called ureotelic. So what they did, these animals, they converted the toxic ammonia in their body by reacting it with carbon dioxide into a new compound known as urea. Okay, this step happens in the liver. In the liver, the terrestrial animals convert ammonia to urea by reacting it with the carbon dioxide. What's the advantage of forming urea? Urea is less soluble in water. That means it is less toxic, right? They say that this is almost 100,000 times less toxic than ammonia. And that also means animals have to spend less water, use less water to excrete it. For example, to remove 1 gram of urea, the animals have to use only 10 ml of water. Compare this to the 500 ml to excrete the ammonia, right? And animals can maintain urea, can keep the urea for longer period of time in their body without getting any toxic effect. So that's another benefit of not having too much of ammonia in the body, right? They can keep urea in the body. They can keep the urea in the body for longer period of time. Examples for animals which excrete it are like mammals. All mammals perform this process. Amphibians, most of the amphibians live in wet terrestrial conditions, and some of the marine fish that lives in water, they also excrete it in the form of urea, right? So this urea is mostly secreted by the liver into the blood plasma. The blood plasma or the blood transports this to the kidney. So here you find a role of kidney. There's no role of kidney in excretion of ammonia, but here you find the kidney excretes the urea out of the body. Okay, excretion happens in the kidney. And many animals, mostly animals living in the water or even on the land, they retain some urea in the blood. Why? So that it can maintain the normal osmolarity, means normal concentration of the blood. So this is the benefit of having urea. Being less soluble, we can keep it in our body without much bad effects, right? Would like to make a correction, like to remove 1 gram of urea, it needs like 50 ml, right? 50 ml, and here it is 500 ml. Okay. And so these are the animals which have more access to water. They drink water. But there are animals which live in extremely dry conditions, adapted to those conditions. They excrete uric acid. Right? They excrete uric acid. Uric acid is very less soluble in water. It is least soluble in water. Being least soluble in water, it is non-reactive, right? It has no effect on the cells, on the enzymes, on the pH, right? Mostly uric acid is produced from ammonia. Like in humans, you find it's produced from purines which are taken in along with the food. The purines are converted into uric acid. And these animals are called the ureotelic. Okay, those animals are called the ureotelic because they excrete uric acid. And being the least soluble, animals can maintain it in the body for a longer period of time, more quantity of the waste product without affecting the cells. Alright, here you find to remove 1 gram, animals needs only 10 ml of water. Okay, only 10 ml of water is required to remove 1 gram of the uric acid from the body. It's the least toxic. It doesn't cause any major problems in the body. Least toxic. And when animals excrete it, it's excreted in the form of solid state. rather than liquid form. The reason? It's least soluble in the water. Take the example of animals like birds or even reptiles. In reptiles and birds, along with the feces of the animal, you find the uric acid comes out, right? Those animals do not have a separate urinary system, right? So the uric acid is excreted in the form of crystals along with the feces of the animal. So these are the three types of animals. One is called ammonotelic. The first one is ammonotelic. Second one is ureotelic. And the third one is called the uricotelic. And uricotelic needs a least volume of water for excretion, and this needs the second least volume of water, but this one needs the most amount of water for excretion, right? Let's look at the excretory organs of animals. Let's have a look at the different excretory organs of the animals, starting from invertebrates. Look at the simple animals like hydra. Look at the hydra. Hydra is just made up of a collection of cells, right? It's a multicellular but simple body organization. They don't have organ systems, only tissue level of organization. They produce ammonia. This ammonia, which is produced in the body, diffuses out. It simply diffuses out of the body of the hydra, right? So hydra excrete ammonia in the form of diffusion from the body surface. From the body surface, it's excreted out. And then in the during evolution, the next level you find something called flame cells. They are also called protonephridia, right? As the name goes, it has the appearance of a flame. This is an animal called the flatworm, liver fluke, or planaria. Okay, these are flatworms, animals with a flat body. The flattened body, inside the flattened body you find rows of flame cells. These are the rows of flame cells. Okay, the body is filled with a tissue, right? The body cavity is filled with a tissue, and all these are connected to a common tube which opens out of the body. For example, so this one is called the flame cell. Each one is known as a flame cell. Look at the flame cell. If I draw a single flame cell, it will look like that. That's a flame cell. It's in fact a single cell with cytoplasm. What's interesting is the presence of cilia inside. These are cilia inside this. These cilia keep flickering, keep moving. So under the microscope, it gives the appearance of a moving flame, and that's why they name the flame cells. So what these flame cells do, they collect the waste products from the surrounding area, like excess water or ions from the surrounding area, and pass it into the tubes, and it keeps moving through these tubes, and at last it goes out of the body through the external opening. So there are hundreds of flame cells inside the body of animal which help it to excrete. Function of the flame cell is to maintain ionic balance and water balance, so we call it osmoregulation. They don't excrete nitrogenous products, right? The function is just osmoregulation to maintain ionic balance and body fluid. The second group is called the nephridia. That's the next type of excretory organ you found in animals. This is known as nephridium. Nephridium you find in earthworm or some of the annelids. In some of the annelids like earthworm, you find the nephridium, right? Let's look at the body of an earthworm. That's the body of the earthworm, and you can see that the body is divided into segments, numerous segments. These are segments of the body, right? And inside this, and that's a septum. Each one is called a septum. That's a septum, and on the septum you find presence of the nephridium. That's a nephridium opening there, and these are the tubes of the nephridium, right? And it opens out at this point, right? So what does it do? It has a funnel-like structure with which it collects the body fluid, coelomic fluid, and remove all the nutrients from it and take it back to the body and allow the nitrogenous waste, nitrogenous waste to leave the body, and it maintains the water and ionic concentration. So it helps in osmoregulation, and it helps in getting rid of the nitrogenous waste, and this is called the nephridium. You can find the nephridium in the earthworm. Let's study about the next one. The next one you can see in the insects. This is called Malpighian tubule. This is called the Malpighian tubule, right? So you find the Malpighian tubule in insects like cockroach. Look at the cockroach. That's a cockroach, body of the cockroach. And from the mouth you can see the digestive system. It extends from the mouth till the anus. So that's a digestive system starting from the mouth till the anus. At one point of the gut you can find many tubes arising, right? So if I draw the tube, one of these tubes, that's one of the tube, and these tubes are actually connected to the gut. Through the gut, food keeps moving. And as you know, the body cavity is filled with a fluid, hemolymph. There's a fluid inside called hemolymph. These Malpighian tubules collect the nitrogenous waste, the nitrogen containing waste, and pass it to the gut. That's a gut. And the nitrogenous waste goes out along with the undigested food. So the function of Malpighian tubule, of course, is osmoregulation. One of the functions is osmoregulation. The second function is excretion of nitrogenous waste. Those are the two functions of the Malpighian tubule, right? Let's look at the last one. This is called antennal gland. Antennal glands you find in crustaceans like shrimps and prawns. In the case of a prawn, you can find at the base of the antenna. Let's say that's a prawn. Those are the segments of the body, the eye, and that's the antenna. At the base of the antenna, there is antennal gland, which absorbs the nitrogenous waste from the body fluid and excretes it out. The function of this is again osmoregulation. That's one of the functions. Second function is excretion of nitrogenous waste. So these are some examples of the excretory organs in invertebrates. In vertebrates, mostly you find a complex tubular organ known as kidney, right? So in the next lecture, we'll be studying about the structure and functions of the kidney. Thank you.